Hi, I'm Nick Jaynes.
I'm Josh Ashcroft.
We're with Firestone, and right now you're catching us midway through an epic overland journey through Oregon's outback.
Right now we're here in Fort Rock. We've been through Lost Forest already, the Christmas Valley Dunes. We've seen a plane crash.
We've hit a ton of muddy roads, and we had some beautiful campsites as well. Over the next 5 days and 4 nights, we're gonna see an amazing part of Oregon.
Join us now for Destination Lost Forest.
Let's do it. Welcome to the Firestone Destination Lost Forest. On this adventure, we're taking a page from Harvey Firestone and embracing the call of the vagabond. That means we'll be taking our rigs off-road for a bit of overlanding while diving into the wild beauty and rich history of this land. Hey everybody, welcome to Destination Lost Forest. I'm Nick Jaynes for Firestone. You're catching me heading out from Portland out to Central Oregon. We've got a convoy of 3 trucks right now. That's gonna grow in the coming days. I'm driving my 2023 F-250 that's heavily modified. I'm rolling on 35-inch Firestone Destination XTs. Right behind me is my colleague and good buddy, Josh Ashcroft. He's got his 2023 Jeep Gladiator riding on 37-inch Destination MT2s. Taking up the back of the pack is our friend Caleb in his 2010 Tundra. And he's driving on, I think, 35-inch MT2s as well. We're gonna spend 5 days and 4 nights exploring Central Oregon, specifically the area called Christmas Valley, which includes Lost Forest, where the name of this excursion comes from.
I'm Josh Ashcroft. I'm out here partnering with Firestone. We're in Central Oregon. Our ultimate destination is the Lost Forest. It's a place we've been coming for about 15 years. Vast open landscapes, really epic, scenic, beautiful areas, and there's so many open trails. There's tons of public land, and so it's really fun because you can pretty much just go anywhere. It's also a really neat area because there's a lot of great history, both geological and human history, and we're going to be taking you guys out to explore some of those sites on this trip. A couple of the highlights, the Christmas Valley Dunes, a plane crash, and a couple of other really neat geological sites, and of course our ultimate goal, the Lost Forest.
All right, we just pulled off the highway. We're finally hitting dirt, and we're gonna air the tires down just a little bit. But before you ever take this on, there's a couple things you have to remember. First and foremost, do not air down unless you have a good way to air back up. All of us, we have air compressors on board. So before we ever hit the highway again, we're going to be airing back up to the placard pressure. Now, when you're airing down, a lot of people think that it immediately increases all of your traction. It doesn't really work that way. We're gonna be knocking the air down from placard pressure to about 25. That's where you start hitting the comfort zone. That's gonna be more comfortable for you, but moreover, it's going to be mechanically sympathetic to your vehicle. That's because the sidewall is gonna take on more of the vibration, more of the impact of the rocks and the ruts and things like that, and not transfer it up into the suspension, into the front chassis, or into your butt and into your back. So 25 is comfort zone. Below that, you can start increasing some traction, but there is no silver bullet traction, right? You're not gonna whack it down to 5 and be able to do everything. You're gonna risk popping a bead down at that sort of pressure. Maybe when we hit some tough stuff, maybe in the sand, maybe some really big rocks, we might go down to 15. I wouldn't go below there though, unless you've got, you know, bead lock or things like that. Oh, I guess the last thing I need to mention is once you air down, you've got to keep your speeds down. We're not gonna go over about 25 miles an hour out here, even on this beautiful graded dirt road. It's just not safe for you or for your tires.
We're here at camp and excited to get some rest. The real fun begins tomorrow as we explore the Lost Forest.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight. We wanna go, go. We wanna go, go.
I'm really excited to show you guys my 2023 Jeep Gladiator. We built this as kind of a rock lander. We want it to be something that's really comfortable for long distance, overland style trips, but still really capable when we can go and play in the rocks and do a little more difficult trails. So to that end, we selected the MT2 from Firestone. It's a 37-inch tire. In order to fit that, we had to do a little bit of a suspension lift, and likewise, in order to accommodate the performance that we wanted carrying the heavier load, just make it really comfy everywhere and allow us to adjust it and fine tune it to whatever the particular conditions are. Today is the first full day of trails. We'll be traversing an ancient lake bed, passing through Firestone Basin, entering the Lost Forest, and ending the night in the Christmas Valley Dunes.
All right, so what's our first stop here now that we're blasting away from camp?
One little surprise we have coming up that we just sort of noticed on the map is a little spot that literally, it happens to be called Firestone Basin, no joke, so we gotta stop.
Hills like these are exactly why the quality of your rig is so important. For conquering rough climbs, the MT2s and even my XTs are perfect. From the size to the tread pattern to even just the quality of rubber, you definitely wouldn't want to try this with just any tire.
Welcome to Firestone Basin.
It feels very Firestone-y to me. I can see it. We should probably like have a drone shot right now, right?
Yeah, let's get a drone shot.
Josh, we have finally made it to the Lost Forest. Remember last year, we didn't even make it this far because of snow. It's good to see the old place again.
Glad we made it, and it bodes well for the rest of our adventure.
I'm so glad though that the state authority, I don't know which authority, but maybe it's the Forest Service, has protected this place. You know, you can't really stop, you can't really go off trail, and I think that's really important. I was reading that even as this area started getting developed for ranching, they were still cutting down these ponderosa pine for building fences and cabins and stuff like that. And I'm glad they're fully protected now because it is such a special place, and they would disappear and never come back if we were allowed to, you know, cut them down and start fires and things like that. When we're out here on the trail, we practice leave no trace. One part of that, of course, is tread lightly. You stay on the trail, on the scars on the earth, you don't go off them, leaving any marks that you had ever been there. Secondarily is picking up trash. Not only your own, but whatever people leave behind. I don't know why someone would leave carpet behind. We also found this. What's in there, Josh?
Got the alcoholic containers.
Now, why someone would spend the effort to bury a 10-gallon bucket rather than just haul their trash out, I don't know, but we're gonna do it for them. All right, I'm driving through some really mudded tracks, lots of water, standing water. Not gonna be flinging it through. I'm not gonna drive hard, not gonna drive fast, go just as fast as I need to get through it without going crazy. That's because it's safer for me, it's better for the track, doesn't tear it up, and it's more respectful. Firestone is a partner with the Tread Lightly organization that instills in people as slow as possible, as fast as necessary, as to preserve these trails so we don't face other closures.
Just a little muddier than I was expecting, if you couldn't tell by my truck. Watching you, man, there's no easy way to get through those puddles, but some of those splashes were pretty impressive.
Well, yeah, at the end I was actually trying to go slow even, and they were still splashing up so high. It was just so deep.
Here we are, the Lost Forest. We finally made it. It's this kind of place that makes me love overlanding and exploring, because I grew up in Oregon and I had never heard of the Lost Forest before. It's a fascinating piece of our geography of the state. This is the remnants of a larger forest from when the region was a lot wetter and a lot cooler. These trees here survive because of the ground they're in and the natural process of adaptation. This used to be a lake between 2 million and 11,000 years ago. And when it dried up, it left all this beautiful sediment. These trees have adapted to grow in this arid environment though, because they germinate faster than other trees, and they also can survive on half the precipitation that the ponderosa pine typically can survive on. It's a beautiful place, and the next nearest contiguous forest is about 40 miles away. It's not very big, but it's very special, and we love to come here. No matter how many times I visit, I'm always struck by the beauty of this place. We mentioned there was too much snow to get here last year, so we're excited that it's accessible this year. These ponderosa pines can live for up to 500 years, and the tallest one we know of is 235 feet. It's pretty amazing to think about.
So that wraps up the Lost Forest. We're just about to exit it here and enter the dunes where we're going to set up camp for the night. That wraps up day 2. We had a lot of fun exploring. Now it's time for a good night's sleep. I'm not much of a morning person, but it's worth getting up early for a sunrise like this.
See here some of what we love so much about the dunes is just it's these huge wide open spaces, and it's one of the only places, at least in Oregon, that you can just drive cross country. There's no road, you can go anywhere you want. It's pretty fun. If you haven't driven on dunes before, it is pretty technical, so definitely only drive what you're comfortable driving.
Be heading on to Burma Rim, another place full of history, a bit of a somber spot where several pilots lost their lives. One in, I think, during World War II, and then another in the early 70s. We'll walk you through that history then. My buddies Peter and Winslow were able to catch up with us for the second half of the trip. It's always good having more people and rigs join the convoy.
This trip has been a lot of fun, but now that we're here at Burma Rim, things feel a little more serious. This site was, and still is, used for military aviation training. The wreckage we see here is a solemn reminder of those who've given their lives in service of this country. So we're up here at the top of Burma Rim at the site of the A6 Intruder crash. We had a great day today. Started out in the dunes early this morning, got up to see the sunset. It was beautiful. Got to play around a little bit in the dunes, and we got Peter and Winslow here with us. We got our whole crew and made our way up to the plane crash site here. And there's actually 2 plane crashes here. They're both military. There's a military training area out here. And so in 1945, there's a P-38 down the way here that crashed. And right behind me is the A6 Intruder. Unfortunately, all of the aviators involved lost their lives in those accidents. So we're just here kind of paying our respects for a little bit, and then we're gonna head out and go set up camp. We haven't actually camped out here in this exact area, so we got a little bit of searching to do before it gets dark. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the crash site. It's been a great day, and now for one of my favorite parts, hanging around the fire with friends. Right, here we are, we're in Crack in the Ground. This is an ancient volcanic fissure. It's 2 miles long and in some spots as deep as 70 feet. As a result, it's sometimes 20 degrees cooler down here. You can see we still have snow. While the name's a little on the nose, it's actually a really unique and amazing place to come and visit. What makes it so unique is that it's still open. Usually fissures like this fill with sedimentation through erosion, but because we're in such an arid climate, there's almost no rain. This thing's thousands of years old and still almost completely open as when it was here when it erupted.
Fort Rock is a super cool spot. It's enormous, nearly 1 mile wide and rises 200 feet into the air. Geologically, it's known as a tuff ring. It formed when a volcanic vent underneath a lake blasted molten basalt into the air, raining blobs of lava and hot ash around the vent, creating a low-profile apron around the wide crater.
Well, we got the trucks all packed up, so now we're just gonna air up and head on out of here. After 5 epic days, the Firestone destination Lost Forest adventure has come to an end. We journeyed through Oregon's rugged lands, answering the call of the vagabond along the way. And of course, we did it all while riding on Firestone Destination XT and MT2 tires. Harvey Firestone's spirit of exploration inspired us, and we hope it inspires you to answer the call too. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.